My name is Kelly Self, and my colleague will introduce herself as well, who's going to do the presentation with me.
Hello, I'm Katie Rayner, an engagement manager at Hepp, one of the organisations that work alongside Hepp with Kelly.
Lovely. Thank you, Katie. Yes, so I am a project coordinator and my role is to support underrepresented students in higher education. So I support parents and carers. I do mature students. I do disabled students, care experienced and young carers as well. Okay. So, who are Hepp? It's a shortened version of Higher Education Progression Partnership, and we're an organisation that's funded by both universities here in Sheffield, so Sheffield Hallam and the University of Sheffield. And we're about impartial information, all about higher education and gaining higher level skills. And we work in the region of South Yorkshire and North East Derbyshire, and we're there to encourage not only children and young people, but also adults as well, to consider higher education as an opportunity. Okay, so the overview of what we're going to cover today in this short space of time is sort of the basics of what are open days, what an open day checklist is, what we think would be good questions for you to take along to ask at open days. We've got our parent and carer ambassadors with us today, and they'll sort of talk to you about different ways of looking at open days from their perspective. And then we'll also look at ideas and things to look at choosing the right higher education course. And then there's time at the end for questions and answers. So please do put them into the chat function. So I'm going to hand you over now to Katie.
Hello, thanks everyone for coming today. So we're just going to give a brief overview about what are open days. So we all know what we're talking about today. So it's an opportunity to visit the institution. So this could be the university, college or specialist provider to see the campus, facilities, accommodation, and essentially just learn more about the institution itself and how it feels to be there and to meet staff. And there's always student ambassadors that are around and ask loads of questions and get a real feel for the institution. They are held throughout the year. Every university is different in terms of how many they run, when they run them, but they are often held on weekends and mostly run during the day, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And every institution will have a different kind of itinerary throughout that day that you can pick and choose from. And you can visit open days at any age. Most students will visit institutions in year 12 ready for applying in year 13, or basically the first year of their level 3 study. So when the year before they finish their level 3 study and will be looking to apply for UCAS in the following academic year, or at the very start of year 13 as well. Lots of students will go to open days then, but students of all ages are welcome onto campus. There are some institutions that also allow virtual visits. So if you can't be there in person, it's really important to look at the institution's website because they might offer an alternative for you to learn more about that institution and what they can offer. A great website, we've got it linked on there, and as Kelly has said, the slides will be sent out. So you can make a note of it, but we will send all this information out for opendays.com that give you an overview of lots of institutions and when their open days are and have all that information in one place. But also, if you look at individual institutions' websites, they will have that information as well, more specifically to them. In terms of institution, that could be the university, college, or provider, whatever HE provider. So that's just a bit of a brief overview of what open days are. And if we've missed anything, please pop any questions in the chat. Happy to answer, just conscious of time and making sure we can get those really valuable parent perspectives in as well, parent and carer perspectives in as well today. And here we've got some ideas of what your open day checklist can look like. And for whoever you are supporting with choosing their HE provider, their higher education provider, this is some questions that they can tick off on the day to make sure they're making the most of that day. So thinking about the course itself, is it interesting? Do you like the modules? Because different institutions will have different specialist modules for the same course. So it could be English literature, but what's studied at one institution could be different at another. So making sure you're having a look at that and what the assessments might be like. Then there's the place itself. What is the campus like? What is it, a campus or a non-campus university? or provider? Would you prefer city or rural? Are there suitable study areas for you? And just finding out if it's the right place for you in terms of what it's like being there. Then think about accommodation, and especially with cost of living crisis, we all know, thinking about the price of accommodation and whether or not it's in your budget, and finding this information out. How far away is the accommodation from the city centre or your lectures? Some universities, for example, are quite spread out. So if your affordable accommodation is miles and miles away from the part of the university you're going to be based in, that could end up not being the suitable choice for you. And then thinking more about, if you are moving away from home, this is where you're going to be living. So think about the local area. How good are the transport links between the institution and your home? Are there places to visit on days off that suit your interests and what you're interested in? How expensive is that local area? Think of it in conjunction with your budget. And just, is the area the right place for you to be based in? And then finally, a great one to look at is what types of support are available. So this could be academic support, this could be any kind of student support. If you have an extra barrier to your learning, if you know that you're going to need extra support for a disability, for example, do they have those facilities that suit you at that institution? Do they offer bursaries or scholarships? And there's loads more questions that you can ask, but there's just some 5 key areas that you might want to focus around in terms of making sure you make the most of your open day experience.
Lovely, thank you. Okay, so we're now going to hand over to our parents and carers today. We've got Tanweer first, and hopefully we are hoping to get Francis in as well. Technical hitches. So Tanweer, do you want to start with your perspective of open days?
Yes, of course. Welcome everyone. My name is Tanweer, Tan for short. I'm a parent of 4, but I actually visited an open day with my 3rd young person, and this particular young person was very keen and very focused on where they wanted to study, and it was as far away from home as possible. Oh, I wonder if anyone can relate. But I think sort of raising my children, I wasn't a tiger parent, but I really kept a good rein on what I felt was better for them. And I think I found it difficult. So we sort of started off at Sheffield University, we went to Cambridge, and it just seemed like a completely different world. The distance traveling to Cambridge, I'd already decided that was too far. I just thought there's no way on this planet my young person is going to travel this far to this university and come home. I can't even do that. How is my young person going to do that? We visited Sheffield and I thought, oh, yeah, it's a hop, skip, and a jump away. I can do this travel, so my young person can do this travel. I was forgetting it wasn't me that's going to be attending the university. Obviously, this was I say child, and I know they are young people. It's something I have to learn to understand. I have to let go of the reins. When I attended the open day, I was very surprised to see numerous young adults attending on their own behalf. Now, that was just eye-opening for me because I assumed parents would just be attending. It was just sort of a thing in my mind, I suppose. Just growing up, I was raised by following the guidance of my parents, so I think copied that sort of pathway for my child and my children, but it became very clear that I needed to step back. I had to step back and allow my young person to make these decisions. I thought being provided with food was a plus. Going to other universities and they didn't feed us wasn't a positive, which is obviously incorrect. I had to remember to bear in mind the information that was going to be provided, the course that was going to be provided, the tutors that were going to be teaching my young person. But I was so hyper-focused on the well-being, the food, how warm the university felt for me. It was a very strange feeling. But yeah, I think the biggest sort of take on going to open days for me was learning to let go. That was my huge challenge and confusion as to how on earth I was going to let go. But I do have one more that is adamant that they will also follow their siblings' path and attend university. So I've sort of already started making a checklist in my own mind that I will take my own lunch, so I'm not disappointed by not being fed. I will also prepare a set of questions. It's something I never did. I thought parents were going to be spoken to, but obviously it's the young person that's going to be spoken to because they will be taking the course. They will be staying there. They will have worries and concerns. Though we as parents will have worries and concerns and we can address them by asking the questions, it's something I hadn't prepared. So I think writing down your questions, that checklist, I was looking at the questions and I thought, yes, I wish I had that, something to follow, something to bear in mind. Support around the community, what's surrounding the community, how far is the accommodation to where they will be studying, what additional support is available. I'd not thought about none of this until much later on when I actually did need that information. And then I had to sort of scramble and check websites and ring and sort of email numerous people to find that information. Being prepared as a parent is paramount, but allowing your child to make the decision, allowing your child to listen without you interrupting them when they're talking, like, oh no, that's too, no, that's just, that sounds so scary, that sounds so difficult. Allow them to listen, give them the space and time to listen. And on the drive there, don't put information in their mind like, oh, this is so far. Oh my goodness, look at it, so busy. Don't put in your negative vibes, yeah? And on the way back, don't give them your negative emotions like, oh, well, it was so busy. Did you see how many students were there? Goodness me, like, it was so big, I couldn't even find my way around. No, that's your problem. They're your issues. You need to address those. Don't put that on the young person. Stand back. Give them the safe space to make their own decisions, allow them to see, understand, and then be there for them when they need your support. It's very difficult, but you have to take a step back. Give them the space to make their own decisions. Trust your young person. They know what they want to study. They can also see and feel. They will have different needs to you. They have different emotions to you. They have different social needs to you. So allow them to learn, allow them to grow, and seek your opinion when they want to seek your opinion. Good luck. That's all I can say.
Thank you, Tanwir. That's great. And Francis, I think Francis is here somewhere, but I think it might be a bit of a technical hitch in terms of getting. Oh, we can hear you, Francis.
Yeah,
absolutely
can you see
wonderful.
me as well? I'm hoping I'm on camera as well. Can anyone see me?
We can't see your face, but we can hear you. So please don't worry about that. That's that we're used to these technical things. So
I am on camera. I'm sorry if you can't see me.
Not a problem at all. Thank you so much for joining us. Francis, are you okay to now take the stage and talk about your experience?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
So I'm a stepmom of 2 children who were very set and decided on the courses they wanted to take, but also quite set and decided on the exact universities where they wanted to do those courses, because they really looked into which universities provided kind of the course they wanted to do in a way that they wanted to learn it. So we didn't visit a huge number of university sites, but what was really important, and what I think really came across was the importance of going to the open days, even if you have only got one university in mind, and they've definitely decided that's where they want to go. So what's the point in visiting? I'm definitely going there. you do need to go there, because you need to be able to just kind of experience the atmosphere of the place, because sometimes what you create in your mind as to what a place is going to be like, it's actually very different in real life. So take the time to go, even if your child only wants to go to one specific place, to give them the opportunity to really feel what the campus is like, to get to meet some of the staff, some of the students, and just get a feel for the atmosphere, because the atmosphere and the community feeling of a university is a really major part of it, as well as the teaching schools and how they teach the courses. You really want to get a feel for what it would be like to be a student there, what it would be like to live in that place, or even if you're commuting, what it would be like to be in that place for, you know, many hours every week. You're really wanting to find a place where your child feels like they can, you know, find themselves, where they can find you know, a group of people or many groups of people to spend time with. So as well as asking questions about the course and about the teaching, it's also really useful to get information about the other things as well. So the social side of it, it may seem secondary to the learning, but if your child is happy in a place, they will be learning in that place. So asking questions about the societies and the club, I don't mean nightclubs, although that's important in a way. But universities have such a wide range of societies and clubs where young people can find out new things about themselves, develop new skills and talents, and meet people who are, you know, are like-minded, and or people that are totally different to them, to develop their friendship circle. You can also ask about the types of support available with regards to mental health, and even just the settling in support, because it's going to be a massive change for them. So taking time to ask what universities do to help young people to settle in, to help them find a place, to help them feel welcome and important, I think is equally as important as asking questions about the courses, because if they're happy, they'll be learning, and if they're unhappy, it will make it really difficult for them to achieve their best. So definitely take time to ask about those things, and also soak in the atmosphere, and get a feel for what the place is like. And during the day, because open days can be really busy, try to find time to like just sit down for like a nice coffee or whatever, and just talk to them about how they're feeling. Ask them, can you see yourself being happy here? Can you see yourself wanting to be here for the next 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? And ask them, you know, to be really honest with you, because sometimes the application process, you feel like once you get that offer, then that's it, you've got to go to that place, or you get in your head for years and years, some people, I want to go to this place. But actually open days can sometimes open your mind and think, actually maybe this isn't the place for me, and then there would still be time for you to visit other universities and see if maybe they're a bit of a better fit. Don't allow your child to feel like it has to be a done deal because they've always had a certain place in their mind. Use open days to kind of give them the opportunity to maybe see what other universities feel like as well. So yeah, just take the time to ask about the other sides of it, not just the lectures really, and give them that time to talk to you honestly about how they're feeling. And remember that open days are just the beginning of the journey. It might feel like you have to do everything all on that day. The days are brilliant and you can get loads and loads of information, but if there's anything that you miss, a question that you forget to ask, something that you think about on the way home in the car and think, oh no, there's such a massive network of staff and student ambassadors as well who will be there to answer questions at any time. So don't feel like everything has to be done on that day. Get as much out of the day as you want to and as much as you can, but that support and that advice and that information will always be available to you, not just on that single day itself.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Frances and Tanwir, for your perspective. I think you're right. It's about soaking up the atmosphere, isn't it? And finding out if it's something that you feel is comfortable, they feel is comfortable to attend. So we'll move on now before we come to the end and have all the questions that we've got. So I'll hand back to you, Katie.
Hello again. Thanks, Tan and Frances. Super interesting to get your first-hand perspectives there. So I'm just going to quickly run through to make sure we've got enough time for questions. But again, we are going to send these slides out, so you don't have to record any of these. But in terms of advising, or we're not advising, supporting a young person to choose the right higher education course, there's some ideas, some initial considerations that you can think about before the open day, and some good questions to ask subject tutors and staff while you are there. So think about careers, where it's going to lead to. Does the subject support it? Is it a career where you need to have an accreditation? So there's lots of healthcare courses, for example, where you need a certain accreditation. What is it that they excel in? And do they want to study full time? Do they want to work as well? Is there an area that they haven't had the opportunity to study in that they're interested in? Because it's if they've gone to sixth form, done A-levels, there's so many subjects out there. So thinking beyond just the subjects that they already know. And then there's 4 questions here that you can ask subject tutors and staff when you're there, especially if it's a topic that you don't know or aren't sure about. Is thinking about how it's assessed. Thinking about the length of study and any additional opportunities that course might bring you. For example, lots of courses offer a year abroad. What modules we covered. Again, I mentioned this earlier. Institutions, if you do English literature at one institution, that will look different. The options that you can study will look different to a different institution. And then think about how many lectures, seminars, how much independent study is happening. Some students excel with structure. Some people much prefer to have big space of time to get creative, whatever they're doing, lots of reading. So that's something that you can find out about as well. But we will send these questions out that you can discuss and have a chat about. Thank you. You're on mute, Kelly.
Good start. So while you're starting to think about questions that you've got to ask us and also our parent and carer ambassadors, we also have a website which is called the Hepp Hub, and on there has got lots of resources to support yourselves and your young people and you know, anyone that's supporting young people into higher education. And on there is links to our parent and carer resource that can help you navigate through this whole thing of higher education. But also there is, if your young person has got a disability, there's a disabled student resource on there. There's care experience, there's young carers, and there is also a mature student information package. So for anyone that wants to look at being a mature student, as we say, higher education can be for any age as long as you're over that 18. So anybody can go. We've you know, they're at these institutions, whether that's a college to do higher education or a university, they'll have students that are 60s, 70s, any age. So there is never too late to go back and start to learn or do a degree. So we have resources that support all of these different cohorts of individuals thinking about higher education. So on there is also some video clips that are like 3 to 10 minute long that talk about student finance. They'll talk about disabled student allowance. Some of them, some are on refugees and asylum seekers as well. So there's lots of different resources that are accessible for everybody to view. So please do take a look, and any questions that you've got when we send these slides out, please just come to us and we'll be able to help you. If we don't know the answer, we'll always get someone else to help us through our partners and our partner colleges that we work with as well. So my colleague Emily is going to put up 2 questions onto the screen, and these are anonymous questions. We'd just like your feedback to find out what you found from today, just so that we can gauge what we can provide going forward with these sessions. They are bite-sized sessions, and there is now 2. One of them is multiple choice and the other one is just a few words if you could add them in. And while we're doing that, we now will look at the questions. And then our final slide is about what our dates are for next year in terms of what parent and carer sessions that we will be offering next year. So I'm going to now, let's see if I can open up the chat without doing anything else to anyone else's stuff. So yes, the slides will be sent out, so please don't worry, the slides are there to go out, and we will also send the recording of this presentation as well, so you've got access to that. Let's have a look. We're in. Are the 2 sharing planned to merge in the future? No, I could never see the 2 universities merging ever. So I'm not sure where the rumours have come from, but no, they are totally different institutions. So they would, no, they're not merging. So yes, so they will be 2 separate universities. They do fund us, so the merge, I suppose, is us funded. We do that impartial information. They provide us with the funding, but no, the 2 institutions won't be merging. Let's have a look. We've got some polls. If you've got an is it normal for parents? It's dependent, I think, on the child, the young person. Some parents and carers do go to them, some don't. It does depend on the young person as well. So they can go. Not, I don't think they always go. Some go with their school for some open days. Some go with their friends. Some go on their own. So I don't think there is a norm, if you like. I think it's dependent on that young person and what they want to do. Obviously, it depends on yourself as a family as well, whether you want to go, but parents and carers are always welcome.
Can I add into that?
Yes,
sorry.
Of course.
It's Frances, sorry if you can't
Hi,
see
I
me.
can see, no, we can see you now.
I work at quite a lot of open days, and I would say that the majority of young people I see are with at least one parent or carer, and I think it can be a really nice day out. So if you want to go, but you're worried that your child doesn't want you there, or you don't want to have that conversation, tell them that you'd be interested in going. If they're really keen on going on their own, I think that's important to respect their wishes. But if you're not sure and you'd like to go, just ask, because it's a very nice atmosphere, and I think it's nice to be part of that journey with them. And sometimes they can be a little bit more shy and reserved than you might realize as well. So actually having that that safe person with them can kind of help them to get more out of the day. So parents and carers are absolutely welcome, I would say, and in lots of cases they do come along and have a really nice time. So
yeah, absolutely. Tamwa, did you have a
Yeah, I think I'll just second what Frances said. Definitely ask your young person, but sometimes they might be so taken aback by the building and the environment that they might not actually take in the information. So as parents, you would be hyper focused on what's being said. So maybe you could be taking in the information, they can just be in awe of other people that are there making friends, exchanging TikToks and social media accounts, and then you can go home and have like a broader discussion about what happened on the day and what your take is on the day. So it might be to pool sort of information gathering opportunity. So yeah, maybe that could be an avenue that you could explore to approach, like how would you approach asking your young person, like maybe we could all go and then pool the information. It could be one avenue to sort of discuss with your young person.
Lovely, thank you both. What is a typical day like at Hallam or Sheffield Uni? That's difficult to answer because it depends on the course. So a sort of medicine would be, they're in quite a lot of the time and they're on placements. A lot of some subjects will be sort of 10, 12 hours a week of study, but then the rest of it is independent study. So they might go to the library, they might study at home, and then they might, go to societies, they might have a part-time job. So there isn't such a typical, it's not like school where you're in from 9 till 3. It is different depending. You might even be at lectures at 5 o'clock at night. It just depends on the program that you're studying. So there isn't a set typical day that I can give you there. Is there a hub website where all uni open days are? I'm sure there is. Is that the one that we've got on the slide, Katie? Yeah, it is. So when the slides come out, it will show you on there what the where the open days are. So that's all sorted on there. Is the event on 7th of June in Sheffield similar to this, but for students? Do you know which university it is? Because obviously, and colleges, lots of different institutions have. So it might be a question that if you can give us a bit more detail in terms of what the 7th of June event is, then we'll be able to perhaps help you with regards to what that event is. Because some open days are specific for that course. Some are open days that are for the whole university to come in, people to come in and look at all of the society, everything around the university. So it does depend. So yeah, we will put that on. Katie's just put on the open days website, so that's great. So yeah, if you could send through the more detail, that would be great. It is arranged by the sixth form college, not quite sure. Yeah, that might be that they've come for they're coming as a school trip if it's through the sixth form college, but obviously I'm not sure what that is. It could be that it's coming through a team within the institution, and it depends which institution that they're coming through. So it might be I would speak to your sixth form college to find out a bit more about what they're bringing the young person to. Is it the UCAS event in Sheffield Arena? Potentially, yes. Thank you, Michael. That could well be it, if that is what it is that they're going to. That will be talking about lots of different universities, but predominantly around this area. Yeah, great. Is there any other questions that we can answer? And as I said, please, once we sent the slides out, please just drop us an email if you have any further questions. But I think I've covered everything now from it.
Yep, I think so. I've gone. Yeah, I've gone through. I think it's just the dates for the dates for the diary.
Yeah, lovely. And so we just need that slide. So we do these sessions. We've done 3 this year. Next year we've managed to squeeze a fourth one in. As we say, these are 30 to 45-minute bite size, and our sessions next year are these dates. So please put them in the diary, because they will be useful for all of you to listen in on. One is the benefits of higher education. The second one is student finance, where we actually get Student Finance England that will come in to the session. And then the third one is exams, wellbeing and revision tips just before they start to really revise for their A-levels, BTECs, whatever course they're doing. And then the final one is all about clearing, which we can go through as well. But thank you so much for joining us this tea time, and thank you to Francis and Tamwir as well, and Katie. So you're free to go now, and we will stop recording. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.